Hey everybody, thanks for joining. First, I'm just going to do a quick run over some points that I want to just really hammer home, and then I'll take questions. So again, this is first I want to just go over some areas of the Discord that you guys might not be utilizing as much as you should. And especially in times where a company like where stocks are falling so much, a lot of stocks are already starting to fall to their fair value. And this is something to either watch for or just monitor. And obviously whenever you buy, I will say this again and again and again, it's so important not to buy a lot at highs. If you want to buy a little at like a point where the stock is really climbing and going up, fine. But don't ever get too over invested at highs because it can fall. And the chances are it might fall. So again, when you go to the due diligence for swing trading or long-term investment candidates, there is this nifty Google sheet which you guys should keep checking again and again and again. And I'm going to keep updating this. And you guys can also update this. I update this by going to Alpha Spread, which is but unfortunately, Alpha Spread is annoying because in the free plan, you can only get like 3 stocks a week. And I sometimes find a way around by just going incognito or switching profiles, but still, it's one of those situations where other people can also update stocks that they like. This document is open to editing by anybody. Um, so, for example, I want to like point out this company, Arcat. It's a drone company, and like a few days ago, let's go back to the due diligence. I did some DD on RCAT and I added it. So this is a company that's not, where is my RCAT evaluation? So as you can see, it's sort of like climbed. It did a huge run. It did a huge run to about 15, like a while ago, and now it's falling. And as you can see, it's not yet a profitable company. And I was surprised that its intrinsic value is actually in the fours. But a couple of days ago, it was, or I think on Friday, it was actually in the fours. And now it is starting to recover. If you look at RCAT right now, it is now up to, I think it's oh, this is so annoying. So yeah, so the price right now is 6. So if you bought even a little bit in the fours on Friday, again, just like noticing all of this, I didn't either. I was waiting for the price to go lower, and as uh as I waited, it went up instead, which is always the way life goes. But if you'd bought even a little bit in the fours on Friday, you would have had a pretty nice, you would have woken up to a pretty nice profit now. And obviously, you don't want to get too over invested in any play. And you also need to like really look at all the parameters. For example, you come back to RCAT. Where am I? This is not yet a profitable company. They have earnings coming up in a few days. And how those earnings will go, I don't know. But in the long run, this has some potential. And again, you only want to have pickups at like a super low point. And right now, this is a company stock that has been beaten down, and it still probably could even dip to like the threes, maybe. I don't know. But that's when something is this low, it's a much better opportunity. So please, people who are in the Discord and have access to this sheet, please look at it, please utilize it. Please also keep reading the DDs that I will add and become really well informed. You all can also do this. I get like these answers by just going to chat GPT, and I just often ask, is a company profitable yet? what are its long-term prospects? These are easy questions to ask it. Like, or if you ask ChatGPT to evaluate the last earnings of a company, it is a really good way of getting the full picture in just one place. Um, and again, there are ideas added in the long-term investment in the swing trade channels, but I feel like right now, as this Discord is shaping up, this is the most valuable channel, and I will tell you guys to keep an eye on this, and because this will be continuously updated. Um, I'm gonna pause here to take any questions.
Jaya, what are your thoughts on Marvel technology?
I have to do my DD on it, and so it's not it's one I have to like dig into that one. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, okay.
But I'll just like add it here whenever I do it. It's one of those things that I'm keeping my eye on. But again, like the process of doing DD is sort of really it's not like and honestly, if you're really interested in a stock, you can do it too. All you have to do is go here, go to alpha spread, add the valuation, and then you can just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT questions about Marvel and put the answers in that sheet. So I mean, you don't have to wait for me to do it. You can do it, and you can also add to a resource. Remember, on the Discord, we sort of work together as a team to educate each other. And I'll do most of the heavy lifting. But if you all want to add to the heavy lifting, please, I would appreciate it. And other people would appreciate it. And I think the best thing for you is that you get educated. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this Discord is. It's just education.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Quick question, Jaya. In that spreadsheet,
yeah.
it says not reliable. So, of course, those prices for the
No, no,
valuation
no,
are
no. This is so this,
less reliable.
it's a, hold on. So some of these companies,
Hmm.
um, uh, they like you can get a valuation based on a method called DCF, and a
Mhm.
DCF method is considered more like valuable for getting is considered more reliable for getting like a valuation.
Mhm.
Otherwise, when they like there's simply not enough information available on a for a company, they have to like rely on like multiples. And at that point, the valuation's even less reliable. For example, BBAI does
Hmm.
not, it doesn't even have enough metrics for a DCF valuation.
Ah.
So that's something to keep in mind. RCAT actually does.
Mhm.
PAC, for example, is a company that Amazon invested quite a bit
Hmm. Right.
in. And I actually had a really nice day trade on PAC on for the day that that news landed. But
Mhm.
now the price is like sinking and is gone to like fives. And again, you can't really tell, but today it had a little bit of a revival.
Hmm.
I think it sank to like 5.53 and now it's up to like about 6. But
Right.
but again, like an ACHR is a company that people are really, really excited about. It's an air taxi company. And
Mhm.
literally their earnings, I mean, like the stock price has like fluctuated since I've been seeing it between like 6 and like 12, and you
Mhm.
can't even get a valuation for it.
Right.
That's how crazy this is. You come to like the quantum stocks, like
Yeah.
look at their valuations. I mean, there's like literally nothing there.
Correct. RGTI is at like 11. So that
Yeah.
part, I
And
won't see that number for a long time, that
yeah,
0.529.
NNE is a nuclear energy stock. And
Mhm.
again, it's like its valuation's not even calculatable. And like the so if you want to look at like the nuclear energy space, for example, these two are much more expensive, but they actually have earnings and they're
Mhm.
actually like they're much more advanced. These two are just like flying on hope.
Right.
Also, for people who like who might be watching this later, or who are not familiar, this is a stock that I first noticed when it was 17 to 20. It had a run to the 50s. And
Hmm.
it's like a value is like 0.08. This, for example, and this, by the way, is a Sam Altman company, the same
Hmm.
guy who is the CEO of OpenAI.
Open AI, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a little bit of the hype there as well. But
Right.
generally, I mean, the market's nuts. It's always like really this stupid to like make
Hmm.
stocks that are worth nothing go to like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s.
Hmm.
It is, but when y'all see huge dips like what's happening now, it's a
Hmm.
good time to add up to like load up on stuff that is at the intrinsic value
Hmm.
if you feel good about a company stock. And that, of course, is a very personal thing. You can take bets on like 25 different things.
Right.
And it's always a personal thing of what you choose to take a bet on.
Right. Yeah.
But when you're going to take a bet, better to take it when the stock price is much closer to the actual valuation, which in our market is a rare thing, honestly. It's always
Right.
a thing.
So in this alpha spreads, how do you you
Oh
said
my
only
God, is my
three stocks per week that one can
yeah,
enter?
and that's why I'm saying it's like it's annoying because it's three stocks per week when you're in the free thing.
Yeah.
And they have like I think once if you pay $12 a month, you can like look up unlimited things. But that's the cool thing about our Discord. We can go in and we can keep updating.
Yeah. As a crowdsourcing, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
I
a
mean,
thing.
and this is only available to people on our Discord. So it is,
So how do you you just make a profile on that alphaspreads.com and then enter
yeah,
the
just keep
stock
like up.
ticker
Yeah.
and
And yeah. And then you guys can like, if you're interested in any company, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not just me spoon feeding information, it's y'all learning how to look up
yeah,
what a company is about. And
right.
you can also add to the information that is available to us to like crowdsource. And that's like so valuable.
Mm. Does this alpha spread also give information about ETFs, for
No,
instance?
I mean, ETFs, the value can't be calculated because
Cannot
an
be, yeah.
ETF is like a basket of stocks. This is
Correct.
like Alpha Spread only looks at like individual companies.
Makes sense. Right. Okay.
So any more questions? And I don't think many people, I don't think anybody really is watching the videos of how I told you all to use the Discord. So I'm gonna like go over the search bar here, and I hope people are using the search bar. Um, are you guys here familiar with the search bar here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Any for anybody who's not, you guys, you like let's assume you just stumble into the chat at like 6:45 a.m. or 7 a.m. CST, and we're talking about a stock, and you can just do a quick search. Um, for example, LWFD. All right. I always like mix this one up.
That was a cool.
That was a really good one.
I know. It's like early, within 2 minutes, got the
Yeah,
profit.
I don't
And
think, I mean, I think I'm still not spelling this correctly. So
right,
forget about this one. That's just, but this was something that we day traded really nicely, where you had
right,
to catch it at the right time and you had to
right.
sell it at the right time, which is, let's go to something like DOMH has had like a really long
Mhm.
history. Like it goes back like 4 pages. So you guys can like just quickly get the full picture of a stock just by doing this search. So this is a very, very useful feature, which I'm not sure if everybody is utilizing the way they should be. So that was the other, those were the two main things I wanted to talk about. And also right now I just want to say that I'm not picking up, like today, for example, the market is not rising and not falling. And you're going to find a lot of days where the market's not rising or not falling. Because, I mean, right now, everybody's terrified. And the market, I look at it as being in a state of like suspended animation. And it's I really, it's hard to envision what will come along that will make the market say, hey, everything's okay, and just like shoot up like crazy. It's much harder for me to picture something like that coming along. Like, whereas it is very possible for me to picture what can like make it panic. And I don't know which of these two might happen, and neither might happen for a while. You might just have like the market just sort of stuck in this in-between phase, not doing anything really. So that, I mean, is also a possibility. And generally, I'm not buying anything until I see big dips again. That is, if I see something to day trade, or if I see something to get like a tiny swing trade off, like for example, today, if you guys were feeling brave, you could have easily bought, let's go to RKLB. I have to put in the valuations of RKLB and Lunar. Um, like if you were feeling brave, you could have just like picked up RKLB if it like had like pushed to the 18s. I think it fell as low as 1895 and now it's like 1937. You could just like try to like swing trade something like that. And even if you get stuck at say 18.95 and it fell to like 17, it wouldn't be a terrible place to be as long as you didn't buy like, I don't know, 500 shares.
But see, that's what happened 2 weeks back. We bought it at like 28, thinking that nah, it will just go between 28 and 27, and boom, it went down to
Yeah,
19.
but I mean, I bought a little at 28 and 27, but I was buying like 10 shares at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if it fell with like if it fell to like whatever 20, it's not like a catastrophic loss that's going to tie up all your capital. And
Mm,
this is often the case. I mean, like, and I think my biggest toxic trait is buying too heavily at a particular standpoint at a particular
mm,
point. Like it's something is like, okay, you buy it once. For example, BBI, you bought it once in the sevens, fine, just wait and see what happens. I bought
mm.
it three times in the sevens
Yeah.
at three different points. And this is like, I think like a really, really common
Mm.
like trap we keep falling into is buying too heavily at a particular price point.
And then when we get a little bit wiser, it's like we buy too little at the right time point, and
Yeah,
then
that has happened to me
yes,
always. I mean, like greed makes you stupid and fear makes you stupid.
right.
So it's like finding that ideal balance between fear and greed, like I kept talking about in my classes. You have to find that balance, and no one gets it right.
Mm.
Really, it's impossible to get right.
Is there a particular percentage gain that you look at before you say that, okay, I think I made my 10% from this stock, swing trading or what day trading, whatever. Now I'll just get rid of and move
I
on, even if it
mean,
keeps going up or something like that.
no, I mean, I look at like the big long-term picture and I make a this thing. Like for
Hmm.
example, like for the RKLB, my long-term analysis that is that it's a really solid company and it's
Hmm.
an up-and-coming company, and in the long term, it's gonna go up. Now, what like zigs and zags it's gonna take in the next, I don't know, 8 to 10 months or 2 years, I don't know.
Hmm.
But I know that in the long term, its outlook looks more solid.
Hmm.
So, I mean, and so I'm always going to try to hold at least. And again, this is like stupid. Like, and the other, like, I think trap that people fall into is like, for example, sometimes you just play like the ups and downs. So, I mean, I actually sold I had lots at 16 and 17 of RKLB, sold
Hmm.
it too soon. If I just held on to them till like today, I could have made a nice profit
Yeah, no, that's what you sold it too soon. But what kind of triggered you to sell it at that point? Like, it was
because
it
I thought
just
the price would go down again.
so, but it
It's just
wasn't
fear,
based
it's just
on.
being too stupidly afraid.
No, it wasn't based on like, okay, I have earned now 10% from
No, it was
this.
just like it was like, hey, I want to see a little bit of profit now, and I think it's going to go
Oh,
down to the price that I bought it at. But
oh,
instead, it did the opposite thing.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, like the market
Mm,
always does the opposite thing of what you'll expect. That is not
right.
something to like 100%
Mm-hmm.
hold on to.
Mm.
So does anybody else have questions about anything?
Hey Jaya,
Um,
the alpha spread on the valuations that we track, right? That's basically for swing trades or long-term investing, right? It's not really for day trading, correct?
Yeah, I mean, like most of these, I mean, like if you go start looking at like the financials, most of these penny stocks, you realize, hey, that's why people tell you not to put their stuff
Yeah.
overnight. I mean, those companies have like, they're so early along in their process and their financials look like shit.
Yeah. Even this RKLB, if I see like it's overvalued by more than 50%.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
right.
even if it's a solid company, I should look up the valuation of RKLB. I need to add the valuations of RKLB and Lunar. And RKLB and Lunar obviously are much more solid companies than a lot of your stupid penny stocks.
Hmm. But if a valuation is like still overvalued by 50%, you would still go ahead and do a swing trade on that?
Yeah, I mean, we have been doing swing trades. A lot of these, and I look at these companies as like middle stage companies. Let's go and I don't even know what the RKLB valuation is. And I'm probably out of my free.
It says I have it open. It says 8.5.
Okay, so that's your valuation. So even
Yeah.
at 50, even if it drops down to 15 or 16, it would still be over 50, but that is common for these companies.
Okay.
Here you're sort of like going on the promise of what a company represents. And if you keep waiting for like a drop to $8, I don't even know if you'll get it. You might. You absolutely might, which is why I'm not buying crazy amounts at any price point, even 15 or 16. If it drops to that much, I'm not buying crazy amounts.
Hmm.
But I don't know if you will see drops to $8.
I think it also depends on the whole sector, how it's doing. I
The
mean,
whole
one
sector,
of
yeah.
the many factors. I mean,
Yeah,
not
it
just.
always like, and I've seen this often,
Mm,
like like one space company has like a nasty accident, you'll see all the
yeah,
space companies like plummet.
Hmm.
correct.
And if you see one space company like having like spectacular success, other space companies might get like a sympathy bump.
Right. And that's what happened with the quantum stocks, what I've been seeing. Like last week, that QBTS, it had some good, really good, not earnings, but whatever, operative revenue and all those positive signs. And it had some nice paper that it showed some promise. And based on that, all the other quantum companies, which hasn't done any news thing, are also
Yeah.
rising. So it's like, okay, you might as well, yeah, play in those
Yeah, and
stocks.
both nuclear energy and quantum, like
Hmm.
the technology is not here. Like, for example, when you dig into like nanonuclear and Oklo,
Yeah.
you realize that hey, they're still struggling to
Hmm.
perfect the microreactor.
Yeah.
So I mean, when they do succeed, if they do succeed, obviously you're going to see like a huge ass jump up because that stuff has tremendous value,
Hmm.
tremendous long-term value, but it's not there yet.
Right.
And
So
you
that's
are
why in
hoping that the
those play.
technology will get there, but I mean, who knows?
Oh, so the intrinsic value for these kind of stocks, which are, say in the middle of their experimentation and all that, will be lower, much
It
lower
would
than
be nothing. I mean, like
actual,
you go
right?
to like, hold on, let's go back to this.
I was
Um,
trying to understand like how this intrinsic value will
like for
help them
example, like
determine.
Oklo has, I mean, NNE does like alpha spread just gives up and says this is not calculatable, like it did for like ACHR. But for Oklo it's 0.08. So, I mean, again, BWXT is another company that does microreactors or supplies, I think it supplies components, which is why it is probably a little ahead. And if you go to the long term, investments. I've like put like a couple of articles on BWXT in this chat. So yeah, I mean, like, keep reading this too. There's a lot of T-Chad is a reporter, actually, and he's a tech reporter, and he often has like really amazing analyses. Like when Intel fell the first time, he was like, buy it, because at some point the stock is going to go up because it's going to be sold for parts. And that's exactly what's happening. Every time Intel shoots up from like 18 to 19 to 25, it's like this hope that it's going to be, there's a takeover hope, or now I think it got a new CEO. And again, I think what DeepSeek showed is that you don't need crazy high-tech chips to run AI. And when that happens, a company like Intel also gets like a new lease on life because their chips are not as advanced as NVIDIA's. But now you can probably run AI applications even with crappier chips. So like having I mean, you sort of need like this big picture understanding to really trade stocks intelligently as best as possible. And that is what this Discord is aiming to give people. But then to like actually get it, you guys have to spend time reading the stuff that comes up in all of these rooms, which I don't think people have been. So anyway, any other questions? If there are no more, then we can stop now. No one has any questions on like the technicals.
Jaya, if you have time, can you show us again how to find the support line? I did watch that video that you have posted, but
Mhm.
still I'm not clear on that. So if you have time, can you please show us how
Do
to
you know how to set
interpret?
indicators on?
Yes. So I have these indicators already set up.
Yeah, I mean, so you've
Um,
got
mm,
your whatever, your moving averages and your Bollingers, and you just keep like
mm,
changing the time view. That's as simple as this. So for right now, when you change, you realize that, I mean, I just changed the time view from like 1 minute
mm.
to like five. And again, 5 minutes is actually like a good view. And you can see
Okay.
that for PAC, for example, there's a support at 5.92. It's as simple as that. There's supports at like
Okay. So you
6.01, there's supports at 5.98, and then there's supports at 5.92. That's
okay?
it.
Let me see.
You just like change your time views. That's it. You have your indicators on and you switch time views.
Okay.
And then generally the Fibonacci levels in the day view are very useful to find supports,
Mm,
to what it can fall to in a fall. Again, you have to keep testing it. You have to like back test it for yourself.
mm, mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And also, can you give some overview about this tax saving bonds and this treasury bonds, Jaya? I just wanted to put some money in those, so I just want how those are beneficial, or if
I
you
mean,
have
like in
idea.
like a
Mm,
recession or a huge market downturn,
mm,
they maybe hold value better. Is that is the theory. And of course, the theory now is that a lot of people on the right are floating is that Trump is deliberately trying to sink the market to drive money into treasury bonds.
mm.
And then when enough
Okay.
money has been driven into treasury bonds, I think the one theory that someone floated, and again, I don't even know, is that he'll refinance all of it. And what happens to the bonds then is God knows. But I am not really looking, but that's like it's a personal thing. I don't think I'm going to like diversify much to treasury bonds.
Mm.
But that's just my
Okay.
that's
So
just
is there any bond that you would recommend to go with? Like when I go into the bonds and CDs option, right? So I see like multiple in there. Say for example, I have U.S. Treasury and then corporate bonds, municipal bonds, and everything. So
I mean, US Treasury maybe. But again, this is an area that I mean, I can only talk about what I sort of understand
mm,
well enough. And this is an area that I don't understand well enough. So I can't really
okay,
say.
okay,
Um, but I do know that I have heard that it is probably better to buy treasury bonds through
mm,
the websites directly
okay,
as
okay.
opposed to like a brokerage. I'm not getting into them, so I can't say.
Okay, okay. Sure. Thanks, Jaya.
Mhm. If that is all, we will wrap up today. Thank you all for attending.
Yeah, thank you, Jaya.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.